What's up, everybody? Welcome to The Revival. My name is JJ. I don't know if you've heard, but Final Fantasy VII Remake finally came out. Alright, so as you can see, I've got, obviously, my collector's edition thing right here. But I want to just make it clear this is not like a full-on unboxing video. I just kind of wanted to... If you want to see like a full unboxing, there's plenty of better videos for that. This is more like just a quick look at what I was able to get, and then my initial impressions. Well, not initial impressions because I finished it, but it's my thoughts a little bit on there, and also you'll probably get a little more on Pixel perspective when Adrian and I talk about it as well, because I know he's been playing through it recently too. I got the game a day early, not anywhere near as early as some other people, but I'm just glad that it wasn't like super late with this whole virus thing and everything, and I know everything's kind of moving slow and stuff, and I think like people who ordered on Amazon were actually in danger of getting theirs like super late. Thankfully, from what I read online and people I've talked to that ordered from Amazon, they actually did get them not like on release day, but like instead of a week out or so, they got them like 1 or 2 days after release day, which is nice. So at least Square was able to make that happen. They planned a little bit for it, and I thought that was really cool of them. So yeah, I have already finished the game, and I loved it. But I'll get into that a little bit. I just kind of wanted to really quick just show off a little bit. So first thing that I got here that came with it was a lanyard. Really pretty. It's got Cloud, Aerith, and Tifa on there. Hopefully you can see that. I don't know why. Like, here's the thing. Like, I've got a bunch of Square Enix points on the store saved up. Saved up just because I haven't really found anything that I wanted to get that I didn't have already. And I was like, at one point I was like, I'll probably just get like the lanyards and stuff. I don't know why they put, this is going to sound so petty and stupid, but I don't know why they put the word store on there. Like, I wish it just said Square Enix instead of Square Enix Store. Like, I don't understand the point of having, it's a dumb thing to complain about. I realize this, but it literally kept me from just using my points on the website to get a couple of these. So I don't know. Anyways, then the game itself. This is the deluxe edition that came in the big box. Really just beautiful packaging, honestly. And I am... The game's in the system upstairs because I've been working my way through hard mode. If I can open it. It's got the steelbook here, which is... the art is just so gorgeous on this stuff. And I'm sure we'll have a lot to say about this stuff on the podcast too. Not the art, just like Sephiroth and Midgar and stuff. Little mini art book that comes with it as well, which is pretty cool. And I really like what they did with Biggs and Wedge and Jessie, as far as their character development and stuff. You can just kind of see, it's just some of the bare bones artwork that they have in the game and stuff. Pretty cool. But I really like what they did with those characters, and finally like giving a little more personality to them, a little more backstory. I was a little like, all the Jessie and Cloud stuff was a little like weird, because there was like not even, it didn't even really hint at anything like that in the original game, and then all of a sudden in this one, it's like she is just hornball for Cloud, and it was like, all right, cool, whatever. It was just kind of weird, and like I wasn't expecting it. That's all. Mini soundtrack. I haven't listened to this, but I've heard the music in the game, and it's gorgeous. And I bought the full soundtrack from their website, so when that comes out, I'll have that as well, which I'm really excited to get to. And then obviously the game itself. It's a PlayStation 4 game, and it's really good. So, we'll set that over there, and I know, this is what everybody is talking about and clamoring for. And I made a video on why I don't get collector's editions. It's because this stuff's so massive and ridiculously huge. Massive and ridiculously huge. Both of those. I just don't know what I'm going to do with it. If it didn't have Final Fantasy in the title and it wasn't this game, I would not have sprung for this. But it is cool, nonetheless. So, the box, as you can see. And honestly, I will probably keep it in the box. Just because I genuinely don't know what I would do with it otherwise. Unless I at some point get like a glass case or something for like, you know what, I should do that. I should get like a glass case at some point for the figures that I do have and stuff. So here's the Cloud figure, which is super detailed, really, really cool, and like fully adjustable and just really, really nicely done. Very cool. But the thing that just blew my mind look at how massive this thing is. Like, it's just crazy huge. I mean, like, I'm speechless on this. It's just crazy. It is so cool and so detailed. I would love to display it, absolutely. I just, like I said, I don't really necessarily have a spot picked out for it or anything. I should get a glass case, that way I can put some of it, because I've also got like the Noctis statue and something from Final Fantasy XIV. I've got some Tales of figures and that kind of stuff, and most of them just sit in a box. I think the only one that I've actually like put out was the Goku statue from the Xenoverse 2 that came with that one. And now, once I moved, I put that back in the box, and so it's still sitting in there. But I mean, God, this thing is just so freaking cool. And I'm not big into figures or collectibles, but you can still see this stuff and appreciate it, even if you're not super into that. It's awesome. It really is. It's really, really cool. So, however it went back in, I think, like this. Right? Okay. A few thoughts about the game. Man, I loved it. I didn't want to do like a full-on review, just because I'm still playing through it, and quite frankly, I think the kind of review that I would like to do for it would be when the whole game is, all the episodes are out and everything. I think that would be cool to review. But just as it is right now, I still have way too many questions, and I don't know that I could be fair to the story, because there's a lot of, well, not a lot, but there's a handful of story decisions that I was just kind of like, oh, really? And there were a lot of, oh, really, Nomura moments that I had, which, don't get me wrong, I don't want to make it sound like I'm like trashing the game or anything, because I loved it. I beat it, and it took me about 39 hours, and that was over the course of about 4 days. So I played the game, and I loved it. I had so much fun with it, and I really, really enjoyed myself. Where I start to kind of get iffy is when I start, and this is impossible not to do because it's a remake, is when I start comparing it to the original. Because the original is, you know, what I grew up with, and it's really hard to not say anything without spoiling anything. Let's just say there are some changes that they did to the original story. If you haven't played the original, play this game. You know, see what you think. Go for it. I'd be curious to hear somebody's thoughts on it that hadn't played the original. And I'm sure I could probably go online and do a search and find somebody that is in that boat. But I don't know anybody personally that hasn't at least tried to play the original. I know a couple people that haven't beaten the original, but Midgar's such a short part of the original one that you can still play a little bit of that game and compare it to this whole game, essentially. But there's still a lot of questions like, well, they made this decision in this episode, so how are they going to rectify that with what happens at this point in the game later on, and so on. So I'm trying to be as vague as possible while still trying to be somewhat informative and like give you my thoughts. It's just weird. Needless to say, I love it, and I'm still working on it. I would like to get the platinum. I am really bad at like dexterity and that kind of stuff apparently in games, because I am having a rough time getting through it on hard mode. I mean, it's not impossible, but it's definitely like I would like to move on to something else, but there's still like, I know that if I do, it's just gonna nag at me and sit there and be like, you still got platinum to get on FF7 and you can do it, and I'm like, alright, fine. So I go back and I play it. So I'll probably give it another couple weeks or so, and if I like still haven't gotten anywhere, I think I'm on at this point chapter 5 on hard, and honestly it wasn't that bad until chapter 4, and then you have to fight one of the new characters in there, Roche, one-on-one, and man, he worked me over a few times. It was rough, but I eventually got him. But it's I definitely recommend it. There are people who are saying it's not worth the full $60 price tag, and it absolutely is, 100%. Even again, if you're not a Final Fantasy fan, if you are just curious, it's a full-fledged game. It really is. I would have made some other choices regarding the filler, whereas like in the original, to get from point A to point B, it might take like 15 minutes. In this one, they stretched that out from that point A to that point B to 3 of the 18 chapters, which takes several hours. And so it's just kind of like, I get it. You want to make it the length of a full-fledged game. I think I would have preferred that they made it cover more of the main story rather than just extending the Midgar part, if that makes sense. But I also get, because in the original, the game changes once you get out of Midgar. That's when you get on the world map, and you are just like blown away. The reason I feel comfortable saying that now is because we don't know if there's going to be a world map in the next segment. We just know that it ends at the end of Midgar, and that's that. So I have no idea what they're going to do with the world map, because it was such a mind-blowing part. It was a like, oh my gosh, this game isn't going to be super linear and isn't going to be like this one confined to one city. Like, there's a whole world to explore now. Like, holy crap. And it was just so it'll be interesting to see how they tackle that. Somebody told me, I forget who it was, but somebody had mentioned that they think maybe it'll be like wide open zones, not necessarily a world map, but like wide open zones going from one place to the next. I would love for a world map. My perfect remake would just be the original game with upscaled graphics, turn-based battle and everything, or ATV, whatever. That would have been my perfect remake. So, but I totally understand wanting to bring in new fans and updating it, and a lot of people think turn-based is dated, and I highly disagree, but that's a discussion for another time. I'm just there are things I would have done different, but I think with regards to appeasing a larger audience, I think they nailed it. I think they did a great job. It's a little too much Nomura for me, personally. But I'm absolutely going to keep playing it, and it's like how I'm going back and forth right now is pretty much how it is in my head the whole time. Like, I really like, well, yeah, kind of, but I like this, and back and forth, and I argue with myself left and right. So, yeah, I kind of just wanted to come in here and give my thoughts on that, and let me know what you think. If you've played it, I have been talking to a bunch of you regarding it already, so I am well aware of how you feel. But I want to hear from more people. I want to hear what your thoughts are. And if I've talked to you already, but you've like finished the game since, or you've gotten farther, let me know in the comments down below, or just send me a message on Twitter, or whatever. I talk to everybody, so it's come on, let's talk games, let's talk Final Fantasy. So I'm really excited to see where this goes from here, and to see what everybody else thinks and what everybody else is expecting. And if you have beaten it, please do reach out to me, because I've got a theory of where it's going, and some of the videos that I've seen online have kind of not confirmed it, but kind of been on the same level and kind of agreed as to where it's going to go. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, so let me know what you think. Like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. You know the drill. Thank you for watching, and as always, keep on gaming.